Hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to School Online. Okay, so this is Miss Esther. Some of you know me as Miss Sarikidi, and it is good to have you back. Alright, just before we get started, don't forget you're awesome, you're great, you're beautiful, and you are handsome. Okay, so give yourself a round of applause. Today, our topic is exploring light. So together we are going to be exploring light. Now I need you all to please close your eyes. I am going to shut my eyes. My eyes are shut. Now can you see anything? I can't see anything because my eyes are shut. I have shut out light. Okay, now can we open our eyes? Wow, this is better. I can see the things around me. I can see beautiful colors. Now I can see because there is light. So when there is no light, we cannot see. So what is light? Light helps us to see the things around us. Light is the energy that allows us to see. Without light, it's going to be dark and we won't be able to see anything. Now, we want to move on to sources of light. We have objects that give us light. The objects that give us light are called sources of light. So, sources of light. Natural sources of light are the sources of light that exist in nature. We can say they are God-given sources of light. Now, if I tell you to mention an example of a natural source of light, I think you will say the sun, and you are correct. So the first natural source of light we're going to talk about is the sun. Did you know that the sun is the major source of energy on the earth? So the sun is an example of a natural source of light because it exists in nature. It is given by God. Now, another source of light is the star. The stars actually appear in the night. When you come out in the night and you look up into the sky, you see thousands and thousands of stars. They give us light in the night. We use that light to see at night. Good. It will interest you to know that some animals give out light. Yes, a very good example is the firefly. The firefly gives us light. Yes, the light may not be as much as what your bulb will give you, but sure, they give us a certain amount of light. And because animals are made by God, or because animals exist in nature, we put them underneath the natural sources of light. Now, let's progress. We're now going to the artificial sources of light. The artificial sources of light are actually the sources of light that are made by man. So, it will be right to call them man-made sources of light. And there are several examples of them. Now, on the screen, we have quite a number. Can you please mention what you can see on the screen? Oh, yes. The touch. Yes, you're right. I have a touch here. Yeah. That's light from a touch. And this is made by man. So it is an example of a natural source of light. Good. Can you please look at the picture again and mention another thing that you can see? Oh, yes, that's the candle. The candle is an artificial natural source of light. Good. Now look around where you're seated. I'm sure you can see bulbs. Yes, there are different kind of bulbs, but they are made by man, so they're artificial sources of light. And this is an example. I'm sure you have something like this at home. Okay, this is an example of an artificial source of light. Good. So we have the natural sources of light and we have the artificial sources of light. Now, be careful. Don't look straight into the sun. You can go blind. And I know you don't want to go blind. The sunlight is very bright and very strong. It is not right to look straight into it, even with your sunglasses on. Now, when there is no light, we say it is dark. So darkness means no light. Now, there's something interesting I want to tell you. Did you know that the moon is not a source of light? No, it is not. it has no light of its own. And because it has no light of its own, it is not a source of light. It only reflects light it gets from the sun. Because it does not generate light of its own, it is not a source of light. I'm sure that is interesting. Good. Now, we're not done exploring light. There's something we want to talk about, and it is called shadows. How do we form shadows? I know you must have seen your shadow before. Now, shadows are formed when the path of light is blocked. A dark area that is formed is called shadow. So shadows again are formed when the path of light is blocked by an object. Okay, now play with shadows. Did you know that you can have a lot of fun with your hands and a source of light? Now, on the screen you have the hand in different position, and shadows formed are images of different animals. So, I'd like you to have some fun. Use a flashlight from a phone, and then try to position your hands and following these examples you can see on the screen. And you're going to be having a lot of fun. So today, in summary, we have talked about light. Light is the energy that allows us to see. We have talked about different sources of light, the natural source of light and the artificial source of light. And we have looked at shadows. Okay? Now you're going to move on to your quizzes and your homework. I have given you some quizzes to attempt and some homework to attempt. Now you make sure you do your homework and your quizzes and remain good boys and girls. Keep safe and be sure to send me your comments if there's anything you know about light that I've not said, or you have a question. I'll be waiting for you in the chat box. Now chat me up. Bye. I hope to have some time with you again next week. Be good boys and girls, and we miss you. We hope to have you back very soon.